Hello class and Professor Doros. Today I will be discussing the work of H.R.Gieger and the impact that it has had on pop culture. Hans Rudi Giger was born in 1940 in Chur, Switzerland, and died May 12, 2014. His work has been described as biomechanical surrealism, though the biography on his official website claims the title of fantastic realism. His work, while embodying the dreamlike quality of surrealism, is meticulously representational and detailed. These distinctions separate his brand of surrealism from more abstract styles like those of Roberto Matta Ikurin in his work Listen to Living, which does not depict recognizable forms. Giger worked primarily with airbrush painting, though he also employed the mediums of pastel, oil, and ink for his drawings, as well as cast metal sculpture, film, and even furniture. One of the reasons that Giger has been so influential in pop culture is that he never tied himself to a particular method of disseminating his work. His paintings and sculptures are featured in museum galleries, such as the Museum H.R.Gieger in the Château Saint-Germain in Juarez, Switzerland. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. He is responsible for the design of the alien in Ridley Scott's film series. He also painted art for musicians, including the Dead Kennedys, and he sculpted the iconic microphone stand for Jonathan Davis, the lead singer of Korn. His work inspired an entire genre of tattoo art as well. Giger's work consistently portrays themes of death, sexuality, and the effects of a mechanized society. The scenes in his paintings are often post-apocalyptic, suggesting the effects of a nuclear holocaust. This is a reflection of the times that he grew up in. The end of World War II was a not-so-distant memory when Giger was coming of age. This piece is called Die Atomkinder, or Atomic Children. It depicts the mutants and amputees left in the wake of nuclear winter. The figures in this painting are both grotesque and graceful, so that the viewer is struck at once by beauty and horror. This is a common theme in Giger's work. Central in this painting is a view of the figure's posterior, the only piece of anatomy that resembles human origin. Giger frequently added elements of sexuality that appear jarring in the nightmarish setting of his paintings. The sun in this painting appears large and threatening, without providing light in the sky. The uniform grid patterns of the ground suggest a uniform sterility to the environment. The two main figures seem to be gazing into the distance in search of something, while the even more mutilated figure at the bottom gazes toward the darkened vanishing point of the grid lines. While it is not immediately obvious, this painting bears a striking resemblance to Masaccio's The Expulsion from Paradise. Many of the formal elements are similar. The threatening angel takes the place of the driving sun in Die Atomkinder. Both landscapes are barren, and both pairs are twisted by pain. One could speculate that Giger made his painting as a sort of warning of the consequences of partaking of the nuclear tree of knowledge. This painting, titled Art 9, stood out immediately to me. It seems to be a panorama of some enormous mechanical structure. The fine detail at once pulls the viewer in and emphasizes the scale of this edifice. There is a perception of infinite depth, and the way that the painting runs all the way to the edges of the canvas implies that we are only seeing a tiny piece of the whole. Organic curves and bulbous forms clash with straight lines and industrial colors. It evokes feelings of dread, despite the viewer's inability to know the machine's function. This painting reminded me of Pablo Picasso's Guernica. Although the surrealist style of Art 9 does not match with Picasso's Cubism, the emotions that each painting evoke are the same. There is a similar contrast between harsh, straight lines and tortured curves, and the chaotic nature of both paintings threatens to overwhelm the viewer. This sculpture, titled Birth Machine, is on display outside the H.R.Gieger Museum in Guerres, Switzerland. It shows a cutaway section of a pistol, where the bullets have been replaced by tiny soldiers clutching rifles. I chose this piece because it is an example of an artwork that reveals new layers of meaning as one delves into the context in which it was created. Without knowing anything about the artist himself, some features of this sculpture point to its meaning. The fact that the figures in this sculpture hold assault rifles indicates that this is a statement about the military. The live ammo in this pistol exhibit very childlike features which could be interpreted as an indictment of how young lives are spent in warfare. Their bodies appear emaciated, and they wear uniform, grim expressions, suggesting the privation and loss of identity that is associated with deployment. Some digging into the artist's past uncovers several more strata of meaning in this work. He grew up in a period of time fraught with warfare and large-scale violence. Though he saw no actual combat, he mentioned in interviews the nightmares about his military service that plagued him into adulthood. In addition, his longtime girlfriend Lee shot herself with a pistol. These insights add a personal quality to this sculpture. Delving to a somewhat more esoteric level, the title of this piece provides another clue about its meaning. Gieger's work is dripping with Freudian imagery. Phallic symbols and images of penetration are prevalent in many of his paintings. There is a mostly discredited post-Freudian school of thought that deals with the psychological trauma of childbirth. The fetal posture of the children in this sculpture, along with the narrowing of the birth canal, along with the narrowing of the barrel around the head of the child in the chamber, suggests a mechanized birth canal. While images of infants appear frequently in Gieger's work, he never had children of his own. In one interview, he alludes to a fear of bringing children into the world. Gieger is best known for his work designing the alien for Ridley Scott's film series of the same name. His involvement in such popular franchise has influenced science fiction imagery ever since. Images from The Matrix, depicting the real world, draw heavily on Gieger's melding of the organic and mechanical. The design of the necromonger ships, weapons, and armor in the Chronicles of Riddick seems almost directly sourced from Gieger's work, even to the dark color and dim lighting. The Borg from Star Trek also seem to owe their design to images first made popular by Gieger. There are many more examples of how Gieger's unique blend of beauty and nightmare have altered popular culture forever. Even though H.R.Gieger has passed away, his work continues to influence how our darkest fears are depicted. He blurred the line between fine art and pop culture, effectively bringing his art out of the gallery so that the whole world could enjoy his nightmares.